Ho, 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 ho. Merry Christmas, or whatever you like to celebrate. Oh, everyone is welcome, of course. Welcome to Brothers Thrice. I didn't want to exclude anybody. Welcome to Brothers Thrice. We are three brothers who grew up in a tight-knit family, and blah, 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 blah. We're doing Christmas movies.
Movies.
'Tis the season. Kev's eating the candy cane. He's turning into a sharp, like a shiv that you can, in the prison yard, get somebody
Candy
really
canes,
easy.
yeah.
That's the only way to eat candy canes.
The elves in the prison yard.
And then to accidentally stab your gums. That's how the best way to do it.
Yep.
I'm a sucker, and then when it's frail enough, I bite it off, and then I just suck on the piece until it's gone.
Okay, you're a sucker.
What are you doing right now? What do you consider you're doing?
Eating a candy cane.
That's a suck. You're sucking it. All right. So, like I said, we're doing Christmas movies. Obviously.
Who are you?
Oh well, hey. I just woke up a little bit, so I'm trying to get this energy out of thin air right now. I'm Will.
I'm Kevin.
Oh, see that?
You're just joined by my brothers, and then we gotta go in. What episode
we
is
messed
this?
it up already. This is episode, I think, 18.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
I
We don't
believe.
know what we're doing.
I believe 18. All right, so Christmas movies. There's a. What'd you say?
We cut him off, but he said, "I'm Brian."
I'm Brian. Yeah.
Oh shit! Sorry. Well, because I said
Whatever.
I'm Will, and then it was a big pause waiting for Kev to say right after.
I was waiting for you to say joined by my
Obviously,
brothers.
I skipped that part.
I realized that after the pause.
Stick with it, man.
All
All
right,
right,
be careful.
so
Don't piss him off because he's gonna shiv you with the candy.
this is over Zoom. You can't touch me.
Through the internet.
That's illegal. So obviously, Christmas movies are very loved by all, and there's a bajillion that we could not include or do not even know about. So many Hallmark Lifetime romantic comedy
love it
that happened during Christmas. That
none of those things are on the bracket.
list.
Well, come on, guys. You know the story of a hardworking female character protagonist from the big city. Doesn't like Christmas anymore. Goes to a small town.
Goes to her hometown, small.
Meets some sort of blue collar worker guy who loves Christmas and
he's wearing a flannel.
Yeah, has to be wearing a flannel.
And at first they really clash because they have nothing in common, and then they realize they're both very sexually attractive, of course.
Yeah. There's a scene where he's cutting down a Christmas tree or something manly, and then sparks fly. God. She loves Christmas now. He rekindles the love of Christmas.
And it turns out he's Santa Claus.
Oh shit! or you go a different route where there are people who are already friends, and they're like, "Please, you just pretend to be my boyfriend when we go to my family's house for Christmas. I never have a boyfriend."
My mom.
And then eventually, like by pretending to be her boyfriend, girlfriend, they've always been good friends. That they realize that the love I was looking for is next to me all along. And
we should write these things.
Also, Santa.
There's already
they already exist so many times, and then
they continue to make more. So,
and then he's also Santa as well.
Right. Or Santa's
no matter
Santa's
what the
son.
movie is. Oh yeah, he's like the heir to the clawless
heir.
throne. It's like at the end, it's like the end of the trailer is like the record scratch. Like, here, my dad's actually Santa. Lifetime movie presents Santa's son coming to no one gives a shit.
Yeah, the heir to Christmas. Coming this Christmas.
And then he also needs he in Santa Claus 2, he needs to get married to inherit. He can't become Santa until he has a Mrs. Claus. So that's why. All right, so we're writing this. Hold on, let me write it.
Start writing this down. And we get Danny DeVito to play Santa Claus.
If we're goddamn lucky enough to get him.
He would make a great Santa Claus.
I thought you were gonna say he would be like an elf or something like that.
No,
honestly,
he's gonna be Santa Claus.
That would be a really good story, being that,
he's Santa, and then we get really big, tall people to play the elves,
like Shaq.
Hey, Santa, where do we put the stuff? I don't know. Put it over there.
Oh,
we got something here. That's not something that's been done before. So let's do that.
We're in.
They probably haven't done it for a reason.
Because it would be awesome or cost too much money.
All right, so like we were saying, there's a lot of Christmas movies, and most of them are probably not on this list because it's just our personal favorites. And I was shocked that my top pick wasn't picked by you guys before I went, I was very surprised, honestly.
Because there's so many. There's so many
true.
number one
But
picks.
honestly, for number one, it's the first one that popped in my head, and I was like shocked that it wasn't taken by y'all. But we'll see, we'll get there. We'll get there. So, want to start with this bracket, bros?
Let's
do it.
So, and then 8 and 9 seed is 8 seed is whose is this? Brian Shishu?
It's Brian.
Yes.
You're number 3 or 2?
It
is your number 3. Number 3.
Right.
I had a list right next to me. I can just look at it. You're number 3. The Jim Carrey. Gotta make sure the distinction because there's so many versions now. The Jim Carrey live action Grinch movie. How the Grinch stole Christmas.
Not to be confused with the animated one from the 60s or the new
animated one
Benedict Cumberbatch for some reason.
Which I hate that it's Benedict Cumberbatch voicing it. Every time a commercial comes on for a movie, like an animated movie, and it's like the biggest celebs of all time, I'm like, there are so many voice actors that are looking for work who can't get it because now all these big movies they're just giving to famous people who don't have. He's just doing an American accent.
Well, Benedict Cumberbatch has done a lot of voice acting work. I mean, he was Smaug on the Hobbit. Like he's done a lot.
Well, yeah, but like I'm saying,
kind of like Chris Pratt doing Mario, and then
that's ridiculous.
Stupidest shit I've ever heard. Like
why would you not just have the guy? The guy, yeah, I think he's apparently in the movie somehow, doing some voices or something, doing something, but like not doing Mario. Like because I also don't know how you're gonna be like because Mario doesn't talk very much in the video games. He just goes. He has his little catchphrase and his noises, like "Wow,"
yeah. And now he's gonna talk like Star-Lord. Like
he's like, "Hey guys, I'm Chris Pratt." It's like, "Shut up, Mario."
I mean Mario.
And then he's also now it got announced that he's also voicing Garfield in a new Garfield movie. It's like, "Hey, Chris Pratt, can you go f off, please?"
I mean, if they keep offering him these roles, well,
I know, but still, but it's like I wish they didn't have because now it's like animated movies like that need the cachet of a voice actor, like where someone's like, "Oh, I know who that voice is," instead of getting a unique and fun voice that someone would be like, "Wow, this is thanks for the Grinch for Benedict Cumberbatch." It could be the Grinch could be so interesting of a voice, like in the original animated one. How cool is that guy's like like the noise, like his I can't even do it. His cool like Grinchy voice because that's like instead of just
but then
him
also
doing like, "Oh, I'm better."
I have somebody else who was really good at voice acting, but they're also a famous person.
I'm not saying every time, but like there's a lot of places. There's a lot of times where it's like they just throw the name in just because it's the cachet of the name, which I get marketing wise, but it's
I remember Bradley Cooper doing Rocket Raccoon.
Well, that doesn't bother because that's not an animated movie. That's just an animated character in a live action movie, so I'm okay with that more because it's
I guess so.
Because that's all. I guess that's the name. And then you have Vin Diesel playing Groot, which could have been literally by anybody.
Yeah.
But
he got like a couple $1 million for that.
That's okay with me. But when it's a fully animated thing, anyway, I digress. I say that to Em every time I see the stupid Benedict Cumberbatch Grinch commercial.
Well, to the listeners, we do not have the Benedict Cumberbatch Grinch on here, so
no, I never even seen it.
I've never seen it either. I didn't even give it a time.
It's a new one. All right, so the live action Jim Carrey Grinch Grinch How the Grinch Stole Christmas is number 8, and then number 9 is mine, Jingle All the Way, an Arnold Schwarzenegger classic.
Wow!
We all did it.
And this is the classic. This is the one he says, "Put that cookie down." When he's on the phone.
It's not Tuma.
No, that's Kindergarten Cop.
Same thing.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same guy, but he is the same guy. He is. I wouldn't call Arnold Schwarzenegger like a very chameleon-like actor. He's really.
He's got so much.
He's
got so much range.
He can go from loud to loud.
Yeah.
So
that's about it.
To a governor.
And governor of California. Good for him. All right, so Brian, you want to go first on why you like the Jim Carrey Grinch?
Sure thing. So I actually watched this last night in preparation. And
did you do that for the rest of these films?
No, just this one.
Well, this is biased, especially because the one you voted for, you watched again. You should watch the one that you didn't watch. They haven't really seen a lot to then really get familiar with that.
Well, it was late at night. I just wanted to put something on, and so I put it on.
Yeah, Will.
So yeah, Will.
Technically, I think I did watch one of the movies that's on this list. That's not my own pick last night as well.
Oh,
We'll get there.
interesting. We'll get there. So
Sure.
I watched this last night and it still holds up, but I haven't seen it. Like I haven't watched it in a while, obviously, since last year. And I forget a whole bunch of things every year. And I'm like, oh yeah. And then like I realized things that I didn't understand as a younger child as well that are so funny. And I mean, Jim Carrey is a phenomenal actor, of course, and very much a comedic actor, as you know.
What?
And yeah, crazy. And I think just like his performance as the Grinch is so weird, but
Jim
really
Carrey.
cool at the same time, being that like the really only other performance is just that animated guy, and he's just like a mean, grumpy dude. And then this Jim Carrey version kind of sets a whole new window as to what the Grinch creature.
Well, they give him a lot more
is.
backstory than the original.
Exactly.
The original one's kind of like it's probably like 25 minutes. I don't even know it's a whole movie.
Yeah.
It's not very long.
Now, I mean, I'm going to give you some just insight as to. So I picked. Well, we're going a little further here. I picked the original Grinch animated, which is going to be further down this bracket. But
technically ahead of this bracket. It's the sixth pick.
Yeah, well, I said down in the bracket, so it's
Right, but I was like up in the rankings. I mean,
yes, but it's down on the picture. Anyway,
correct.
I don't care for the storyline of the Jim Carrey Grinch, and I'll tell you why. Because they give a backstory, yes, but in this story, in this movie, they make the Grinch the protagonist of the story, showing his backstory as to how he was bullied and how he became the Grinch.
He's a sympathetic protagonist, an anti-hero, perhaps.
Which in essence makes the Who's the villain or the antagonist of the story. Because they're mean to him. So they create the Grinch. Whereas in essence, so the Who's are the bad ones.
So it's a play on society. I mean, if you're bullying and laughing at people, you're a bad person. So
right,
I mean,
but in the Doctor Seuss story, Doctor Seuss story, the Who's are the ones who are celebrating Christmas about being that it's family and friendship, and it's not about material goods and all that sort of stuff.
Do that and at the end.
And their goodness is what makes the Grinch better. So
that still happens.
Yeah, but
they're bad.
They made him bad first.
They made him bad first. They're the reason he's created.
It's just Cindy Lou who makes him good again. Like no one else.
And no one else.
Everyone else is a piece of shit to him.
Right. So everyone else hates him. It paints the Who's as the villains of the story, which in essence they're not. They're supposed to be just a good
innocent bystanders.
But
playing their
because the original story, the original story shows the Who's as just an overall
selfless,
good, like wanting to
innocent,
be not materialistic, just family, everyone loves each other kind of mentality. But in this movie, they flip it and they make them the evil ones, except for one of them.
I would say evil, but like,
well, they're the enemies, they're the villains, the antagonists of the story, and I don't care for that because the Grinch is supposed to be bad, and they turn him good.
I never thought about that way.
Not the other way around.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, like that's just kind of how the world is, Like,
no, it's bringing the Grinch story, the more simple Grinch story into like a fully fleshed out because technically in the original there's no they never show like why he's bad. Like they say he hates Christmas and that's why there's no reason. So I understand why they did the extra.
Right, they had to give him the backstory, but I just don't like how they paint the Who's as the reason why he's bad because they're the reason why he's supposed to be good again at the end.
And they said, do they say why he's? Did they say that why he's? I'm trying to remember the Grinch, the Jim Carrey Grinch movie where the stork brings like him, but he's like why is he green and hairy and no one else is? Or he's just that's a birth defect.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't remember.
And maybe it's a play on like racism. Because maybe they're like, oh, we don't like you.
You're weird and green.
Yeah. And then that adds to his.
I remember these flashback where he's like little Grinch is like really weird. He's like extra Grinchy looking in that. Like he's extra.
And he like tries to shave his face.
Yeah.
Like a little. All right. Well,
I read somewhere that like Jim Carrey almost quit the production and everything because the makeup and the
we
suit
had
and
like
everything was
like
so
25 hours of
uncomfortable.
makeup every
Yeah.
day.
It was
At 25 hours,
25
but-
every day. That's crazy.
Oh, you know what I
And
mean? Like,
an hour.
like just a whole bunch of hours to just
Well-
before you can even do anything every day.
Yeah.
It's
So
crazy. It's a lot of work.
It was like the makeup and the costume was so uncomfortable that they had somebody from like the army on set to basically train him to like tactics of withstanding torture so that he could continue wearing that and continue production.
Someone from
He's almost
Guantanamo Bay came over and be like, "All right,
This is how you get tortured.
stop being waterboarded."
Yeah, basically. So I mean, if you look at the suit, it does not look like it's cozy.
No,
So
I can
also
only
his
imagine
eyes
how
are like
awful it is.
yellow in it. Like so they had to
Yeah.
put stuff in his eyes like
contact
that.
lens things. Yeah, it's all it's a whole deal.
But it's not just his eye, like his like the iris and the pupil, it's like the whole eye. So they have to put like some and
Thick
it wasn't
glass.
yeah, it's gotta be I can't imagine
Yeah.
that.
Probably not that comfortable, but he did a hell of a job. I like the movie.
No,
a lot.
I think
it's
Jim
fun.
Carrey did a great job in it. I mean, he definitely brought a comedic role to it and also like a creepy vibe to it. It was very good. Like him, I just don't like how they did the story comparatively to the original material.
The source material.
What creatures are like the Who's? What are they? Because they look like the
Just
dogs
humanoid.
from, like,
They're just humanoid with everyone has the who knows except for Cindy Lou Who for some reason.
yeah.
Now, well, if you think about like you're trying to put like realistic expectations on
a
Dr.
fake world.
Seuss. Like Dr.
On
none of
on
Dr.
Doctor
Seuss's
Who?
thing. There's a big cat with a hat. Like, why is there what's the word I'm looking for? Personified.
And a more. Yeah.
Well, like personified
Anthropogenic?
cat.
no,
that's
it's
like
the,
humanoid.
no, it's what's there's a word personified where it's like
And
Yeah, that's what I said.
anthropogenic,
is that
like making it like more human-esque.
human?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's like anthropogenic.
I don't think I've ever seen the Mike Myers live
I
action.
haven't
cat
either.
one.
No,
But
it's
I
I've
don't
just-
want
seen
to.
pieces of it, but I've never
I think
seen the whole thing.
because of that movie, the Dr. Seuss estate said that there never is going to be another live action adaptation of one of his stories ever again after that movie
Wow.
because it was
So
so bad. So
All right. Well,
yeah,
Grinch
there's the Grinch.
versus Jingle All the Way.
Wow.
Arnold Schwarzenegger is this giant Austrian bodybuilder is a normal suburban dad who works too much and doesn't give a shit about his family. Like the classic like 90s or sort of trope where it's like the dad works too much and he doesn't spend enough time with them. Blah, blah, blah. And then he like, you know,
The
it's
spirit
like
of Christmas.
first Christmas Eve or like the day before Christmas Eve, the 23rd probably. And then he's like, "Oh, did you get Jamie, his son Jamie, the one toy that he wants, the big toy he wants?" And of course, it's the most popular toy of the year, so there's no way he can get it. So the movie's pretty much going around, going at everything, and trying to get Turbo Man, which is the biggest
I was
toy.
just gonna ask what's the name. My first thought was Scuba Steve, and I was like, that's definitely not
That's
it.
that's Big Daddy.
But
Yeah.
same premise though, because doesn't he dress up as Turbo Man?
Yeah, but it's a totally different movie.
Yeah, I know it's a different movie, but like
Yeah, but
Adam
he goes-
Sandler also dresses up as Scuba Steve.
Well, that's just to teach him just like, hey, don't stink, get in the bath. But this one at the end he gets like shoved to like a parade, and somehow like they think since he's like a giant bodybuilder man, that he's the actor playing Turbo Man on the float, and they suit him up. And for some reason this Turbo Man costume has a jetpack, working jetpack, and all this different stuff, and he puts him on a float, and then he's flying around. And Sinbad's in this. Sinbad is the post office worker, a male guy. What the hell?
Male guy.
You know, male guys. Mailman who's also looking for Turbo Man for his son. So they have a competition, like, you know, every store they go to, everything. They try to get Turbo Man, and then he like pretty much assaults the man who is playing like the villain on the float, and he takes his costume, and then they have a whole like battle in the sky, and then that's the whole thing. Have you guys seen the movie at all, or no? Am I just talking to no one?
I've seen most of it. I mean, it's been a long time though.
Bits and pieces.
But it's
here
like
and there.
there's so many like times where it's just like it's just a fun time. And then he does the famous line where what's his name? Shoot, the guy who died, who got killed by his wife, who was on SNL.
What?
The guy, he was the guy that's in the movie who's like playing like the divorced neighbor who's like extra horny for Tom Hanks's wife, aka Arnold Schwarzenegger's
Tom Hanks.
wife.
Wait, Tom Hanks is in this movie?
No, Tom Hanks's wife in real life is Arnold Schwarzenegger's wife in this movie.
Oh, okay. I was like, I didn't know
Phil
Tom
Hartman.
Hanks.
Phil Hartman is playing like the horny neighbor who's like recently divorced and has the hots for, and then since Arnold's not around a lot, since he's working or now trying to get this toy because he's a shitty father and waited till the last minute. He's like trying to get in while Arnold's out, and then he answers the phone. He's like, "Hey, what's up?" And then he's like, "What are you doing? Let me talk to my wife. Get out of there." And then he's like eating the cookies. Like, "Oh, these cookies! I can't remember his wife's name. Oh, they're so good. You gotta give me the recipe." And he's like, "My cookies. Put that cookie down. It's not for you." Over on a payphone in the middle of the street, and like everyone's like, "What the? Put that cookie down." It's very funny.
The kid is actually young Anakin,
is little Anakin, yeah.
Star Wars, yeah.
Ah,
yeah, little Anakin, little Annie. So anyway, but then at the end, the son is very selfless, and because in the parade he has to give it like the Arnold Schwarzenegger dressed as Turbo Man gives the Turbo Man, which is like the hottest toy no one can get, to a kid in the crowd. So of course he's like looking for his son because his son's also at the parade. So he's like, Jamie, and he's like, he knows my name. And he gives him the thing, and then Sinbad chases him on a rooftop to get the doll from him. And in the end, Sinbad's getting arrested, and he's like, here, your kid wants this. And then Arnold's like, what the hell? I just went this whole day trying to get it for you. He's like, and the son's like, I don't need that Turbo Man because I have one at home, meaning him because he's dressed as Turbo Man. He's like, oh. And then
my dad's Turbo Man.
Yeah, and then at the end, his wife's like, oh, honey, you went through all this work to get him exactly what he wanted. It really gets me excited for what you got me. And then he goes, oh, at the camera, and then it's over because obviously he's also a shitty husband. Because he doesn't get for anything either.
Does he look at the camera and go?
No, he literally goes like, I think zooms in on him at the end. Like he's like, oh, what? She's like, I wonder what you got in me. And he's like, oh, and then goes, and then and then credits roll.
I didn't catch the ending, but that's so funny.
No, he probably doesn't do the doll, but it's very. It's
right.
It's just like it's like one of those like and like every time he goes like he thinks he got it, he goes to this radio station, and then it's just him and Sinbad racing to every place. There's like
it's that type of 90s type movie.
Yeah, where it's just a romp. It's just a romp going from place to place. He just can't get a hand on a Turbo Man because it's the most popular toy. And then, but by being out and being gone, he's like, all I care about is my family, and
moral of stories.
More or less, it's not the deepest of stories, but I think it's always a fun. And just also that Arnold's being so out of place is hilarious because he's like this Austrian bodybuilder who like is just a normal suburban dad, and everyone like acts like he's just a normal suburban dad. Like he's not like no one's like, holy crap, you're huge or anything. He's just what's his name in them? I think it's just his name is Howard. Yeah, Howard. Yeah, and then you've seen the Brian right at the end where he's on the float, and his son or his wife do not recognize him until he takes his whole face is visible. He has a visor from here to here. And then the rest of his face is bare, and they have no idea it's him.
And he's still talking in an Austrian accent.
Yeah, he's talking in his regular voice. Like no one talks like that. How do you not know it's him? And then he's like, oh man. And then he like as he's standing, Arnold's standing there. His son goes to mom and be like, man, I wish Dad was here. He's like, your dad loves you very much, Jamie. He's like, how do you know, Jamie? Oh, and he's like, how do you know, Mister? He's like, well. And then he like takes the visor away. He's like, it's because I'm your daddy. And then he's like,
who is your daddy and what does he do?
That's also Kindergarten Cop.
Same movie.
And then his son's like, Dad? And then she's like, Howard? And then she goes, oh, Howard. Like, oh, I didn't realize you were this ripped, even though I'm married to you. And of course I know you're Austrian bodybuilder, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Well, maybe she's just got a thing for
She's
Turbo
got
Man.
Yeah, maybe she's just always had a thing for Turbo Man.
Very possible.
Her-
She loves a man. She loves
her
a man
kink.
in uniform.
That's right.
A superhero uniform.
Silly
So
uniform.
it's just it's a fun, like, literally have it on while you're doing anything kind of movie.
Are your votes both staying the same?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So it took Will a long time to talk about that movie, but
Hey, we talked about the Grinch for a while.
And so I'm gonna go with the Grinch.
We talked about the Grinch for a while. What are you talking about? We went through the whole backstory of the Grinch.
Oh, we didn't. We
By
touched
the
on
way,
it.
we didn't preface the whole show. Spoiler alert: if you've never seen any of these movies, we're gonna give them away. So
A lot of these movies are very old and very popular. I hope
just
It's-
saying.
none of these movies are recent, and also none of these movies are not ever something that hasn't that it's Christmas movies. Like, you've seen all of these. Like, these are very popular.
And even if you haven't, you kind of understand how
you
it's
know what's
gonna
going
end.
on. Like, it's Christmas.
Yeah.
Come on. All right, so Jingle All the Way, which is my number 3, goes down. It's okay. Grinch,
Peace out.
because I think it's going to lose coming up next, but it's fine. Because now, next up in the next bracket, what would this be? This is
a tough one.
mine. This is my number 2.
And my number 2.
Oh, okay, there we go. Oh, me and Brian against each other again.
Yep.
It's A Year Without a Santa Claus was what my pick is, and Brian's pick is The Santa Claus, starring Tim Allen. The Santa Claus, as in legal document, the clause.
Got it.
Which I never realized when I was younger. I'm like, oh, the Santa Claus, but I obviously didn't know.
Well, they explain that.
legal-
They say a clause, the last line of a contract. Bernard.
Come on, it's like you
my-
didn't watch the movie.
I watched. This is the movie. The Santa Claus is the movie I watched. That was on TV last night. Me and Em watched. And Em has a huge crush on Bernard. She always has.
I thought you were gonna say Tim Allen.
No, Bernard Krumholtz.
No, what's the therapist guy's name?
Oh,
Lloyd? No.
No.
Oh,
Judge Reinhold.
Neil.
Well, dumb sweaters.
Yeah.
All right.
You know what I
well,
realized? He's Neil is the close talker from Seinfeld.
yeah, it's
Same
Judge
actor.
Reinhold.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
This is a tough one.
Well, do you want me to go first? Since I just talked about, you want to go? You can go first, Brian.
Okay.
I just
So
talked about Jingle All the Way.
The Santa Claus. This is like classic, absolute classic. Anytime I picture Santa Claus like in my head,
It's Tim Allen.
It's always Tim Allen. Because I feel like he's got that like the perfect Santa Claus look, you know what I mean? Like any Santa, any portrayal of Santa, whether it be just some random dude, either that or the Santa at the end of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade. That guy is probably the real one, I think.
It makes sense.
Mom says it's the guy at the mall.
True.
No, she always
Well, I
says
mean-
that's Santa's helper.
No. She says the one at the mall by them. It's actually him because it looks just like him. Apparently, I don't know. I don't remember.
It's just a guy with a white beard. It's really not hard to pull off, but like, I don't know. Tim Allen does a good job with it.
Well, the makers
I
perfect
think
job.
this is just it's a very similar premise to Jingle All the Way with what you were saying, Will. Like, oh, my
Well,
dad
it was
works
that
too much,
era.
he doesn't give a shit
It was
about
that era
family.
of movies. Like, every dad was like, it's like too much in their career. Didn't have time for the son's always being let down. Like, you gonna come to my soccer game? Absolutely, Bob. He's there, no problem. And then he doesn't show up, or he shows up late. And the wife's just like, "What the hell's wrong with you?" He's like, "I'm making you millions, bitch." No, he doesn't say that. But like, it's always like there's so many movies like dad's just not there.
Yeah, the '90s movies I feel like are very one-dimensional.
Like
Were dads in the
or
90s very, very absent?
I think maybe the writers were these dads, or their dads wrote this to them, and then this is them just writing out like their fantasy. Like, okay, the dad starts off like this.
Writing out their feelings.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
I'm not there very much, but I'll make up for it with this movie.
And also,
Maybe.
I'm Santa Claus.
So when I watched this movie last night, I was thinking, I'm like, because Tim Allen is just like a normal dude or whatever, but like over the year between the first Christmas and then the end of the next Christmas, I think it's like a curse. Like his brain changes. The weight gain, the beard growing and stuff, like it's not up to him. Like he's cursed.
Yeah, essentially.
Like in the beginning, he's like, I don't want to do this. But he's like literally consumed by this Santa spirit, this demonic entity taking over his body,
Venom.
not letting, he can't think anything. He kids start coming up to him. It's all involuntary. And I feel very bad. Obviously, at the end, he's fully consumed and brainwashed by this, so he has to. But the whole movie is like him, like this, like, you know, it's consuming him.
Santa is a Santa is a symbiote.
Santa is an evil symbiote that he put on the suit, and now he becomes Santa against his will. It's kind of dark if you think about it. Like his whole life got thrown away because the guy fell off his roof. Even though you can say, "Oh, it's destiny," he was supposed to fall off his roof. He was supposed to be Santa. Bloody bloody blue. But and also, if parents don't believe in Santa anymore in that movie, how is it everyone just brainwashed in magic and be like the parents when they stop believing in Santa Claus, they think that they're getting these presents? Because if Santa's coming and bringing presents and the parents aren't buying them, do they think, oh, I must have just bought them, I forgot? Like,
yeah, I feel like that's for every Christmas movie that's like that though, because like it's the Christmas is in the magic.
Yeah, but this is very like it's like very realistic though. This is real life. This is like real life people, but there's also Santa. You know what I mean? Like it's not like a, I don't know, because I feel like in other movies, like it's kind of like they don't think about it or don't talk about it, where it's like, oh, like everyone believes in Santa, it's fine. This one, it's like they show like the parents saying that the son is an idiot for believing in this, and then also that Tim Allen is being crazy for acting like Santa and putting all this terribleness in his head. It's very fresh in my mind. I watched it last night. It was like there's a lot of stuff in this.
Kevin and I watched it on the day after Thanksgiving.
Yes, we did.
Wow, very, very right after Thanksgiving, put it on, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But I think it's a nice feel good movie, and I think it's just a quintessential Christmas because the image of Santa Claus is Tim Allen.
I like the portrayal of the North Pole and the elves and everything. It's very happy-go-lucky type.
But only in the first one. The second and third one. The second one started last night. We didn't watch it. But like the way it's like all very makes it look like a set. It's like not the second and third one are not even close to what the first one was.
No, the first one's definitely the best. But I just like the depiction of it with like the cocoa and like all the elves. Yeah. It's just a great depiction of the North Pole.
Yeah, the third one sucks with Martin Short as Jack Frost. That one sucks.
Like, what if I wasn't Santa? Like they just have to like, and he goes back to like it's like almost like a Christmas Carol within the Santa Claus 3, because it's like, what if I was never Santa? And then they show him.
It's him fighting against the symbiote.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
He's gaining his consciousness back, and he's like, what if? But he's like, then he realizes like, okay, if I just go along with what the symbiote wants, I'll be happy and safe and be okay. So he has to kind of he retreats back into the sunken place, and then he just chills out
as Santa.
Yeah.
So would you like to comment on A Year Without a Santa Claus and also another classic?
It's one of those awesome old school, I don't know what we call it, claymation, but stop motion, that's the word. Stop motion Christmas movies like we have another one on the next up. Next up is another stop motion one. But this one is the Year Without a Santa Claus. Santa, he's got a cold, he's in bed, he's got the sniffles, and he's like, I'm sick of this crap. This crap.
He even says that.
Kids barely believe me anymore. I'm tired. I'm probably 100-something, who knows how many years old. And I don't feel good this year. I'm not gonna, screw it. I don't know. Yeah. I'm not going out tonight with my sleigh. Christmas is canceled this year. And then Mrs. Claus is like,
the premise of it is ridiculous, but I got a cold. Fuck this.
Yeah,
that's it.
Hey, I don't blame him if he's doing this how many years and kids are like not appreciating him anymore. I feel the same way. Like, I'm like feeling crappy. You don't do anything, even though it's his only job technically.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because the elves are making all this stuff, he's not doing anything. He just chills out all year. So then Mrs. Claus, who's very, this is probably like the best Mrs. Claus in any movie because she actually does stuff. In all the other movies, she's just like, they're like, hi, I'm the wife. But this one, she's got her and her elf friends, Jingle and Jangle. Of course, they go out and try to find some Christmas spirit because that'll like they said. I think does Santa say like, hey, if you find me some Christmas spirit, I'll go.
Something like that.
Or like maybe maybe they go on their own to say, we'll show Santa Christmas spirit to entice him that this is worth going out tonight.
Right.
So some reason, and then there's my favorite parts, the Snow Miser and the Heat Miser with their awesome songs, and honestly the highlight of the whole movie.
Yeah, I agree.
And they wanted to I'm Mr. And they have the same song, it's just their own lines. Some of my favorite music and anything. And then they go to Southtown, USA, which I guess just is the South and doesn't snow there because it's hot. And then like, okay, if you can like let it snow, we'll get more Christmas spirit. And then he has to go to the Snow Miser and be like, hey, can you snow here? And he's like, absolutely. He's like, oh wait, where? Oh snap! No, I talked to my brother, the Heat Miser. And they go to this, I guess, the hell to see Heat Miser. He looks like he's just in hell. Like he's just the devil. And he's like, hey, can you let it? And he's like, fine, I'll let it snow there if he lets me have a sunny day at the North Pole. He's like, oh, I can't do that.
That would destroy the ecosystem.
Yeah, everything would be effed. All the polar bears would be dead. Well, probably ecosystems on the south, if it snowed really hard, would be like all messed up.
Well, then they would shut everything down. They wouldn't be able to. There would be no plows.
Yeah. So then they had to go to Mother Nature and say, hey, and then that's like their mom. That's everyone's mom, I guess. And then Santa sees the Christmas spirit still there. And even the dorky kid's like, I don't believe in Santa. I think that's just stupid. Santa's sitting right in front of him.
This little bastard. I'm standing right here.
He's like, oh, I knew it. They have no Christmas spirit.
I've always liked songs, great. Yeah. Hey. Like, who sneezes like that?
Yeah.
Santa Claus.
You know what I realized thinking about this last night? I was thinking about like all the bracket and everything. The lady who voices Mrs. Claus, her voice sounds a lot like Grandma's voice.
No.
Yeah, like if you think about it.
I have to watch it again. I feel like I haven't seen it in a bit. But I'll have to watch it.
Pull up a clip later and be like, huh, that sounds like Grandma.
I don't
for those of you who don't know our grandmother, sorry, but take on my word for it.
Why would they know? I don't think it does.
Mrs. Claus kind of sounds like Grandma's voice.
Maybe Grandma is Mrs. Claus.
Or Brian just ageist and says that all old ladies sound alike.
Well, that's not true, because if I said that Mrs. Claus sounded like Grandma, then I could have said Mrs. Claus sounds like Nana, or Mrs. Claus sounds like Mrs. Johnson down the street,
or Betty White.
That too. But I didn't say that, did I, William?
No, but I don't think
she sounds like Grandma.
I think the woman who does Mrs. Claus has an accent, and that Grandma doesn't have an accent. Like
Grandma's got a Brooklyn accent.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but like it's more of a
southern, like Queens.
Yeah, Queens.
Yeah, Grandma's like, hey, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing? Gabagool. Okay.
She's also Italian.
Yeah. Bri, are you staying with your vote for the Santa Claus?
Yes, I am. Even though, like, I love the Heat Miser, Snow Miser songs; those are amazing. I almost was the Snow Miser, and my friend was the Heat Miser for Halloween one year. But
that's
didn't work out.
For Halloween, not for Christmas. Interesting.
Well, you don't usually dress up for Christmas, but
you could.
Yeah, we were almost at for because like I'm very tall.
I say you look like a Snow Miser
than I was. He's more beefy than I was. So shout out Jake Oz.
Bro, we could do that. I'll be the Heat Miser, and you be Snow Miser, and Kev could be Jingle or Jangle,
or both.
Like I'll be Mother. I'll be Mother.
Which there's one of the elves that has a bigger nose. That one you're playing, Kev.
Yeah, but he's also got blonde hair.
That's
Jangle. No, I don't think. Does he have blonde? Oh, he has the hat all the time. You don't really see his hair.
No, he's got blonde, long, straight blonde hair.
Does
that
he?
Comes down on the side. Yeah. And then
I just remember the bigger
has
nose.
Like the curly brown hair.
Yeah, I'll be the
you wear
one.
You wear a wig.
I'll wear a wig.
Okay, it works.
Or you could be one of the reindeers.
And Grandma will be Mrs. Claus.
Yeah, we're doing a live action Year Without a Santa Claus. Here we go.
And yeah, well, like they just did like Annie Live on NBC. We'll do Year Without a Santa Claus live, and we sing all the songs.
I'm down.
That'd be fun.
As long as Jingle and Jangle don't sing, I'll be all right.
I don't think they do.
All right, then I'm good.
Bam, bam, bam.
I'm also voting for the Santa Claus. So,
all right.
Even though I do love the songs in the movie, like the Santa Claus as a movie is more fun to like. More like the songs, my favorite part. Like without the songs, I would not like that movie probably.
Yeah,
but
I'll be the sole, Year Without a Santa Claus because I just love that movie. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, well, I think just because like I watched it last night and like how much there's so many parts of that movie I'm like, this is classic. He you know, when he goes and shaves and then he like comes like he goes back and just comes back.
Yeah.
I'm
And
in big trouble.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then the fat suit when he's like in the like looking like at the doctor, like, what is this? A little bit of weight.
Yeah.
Like that doctor, terrible doctor. He should be fired because obviously that's not healthy.
Yeah. And he had
In like a couple
insane
weeks he can't
arrhythmia.
grow that.
And like his heartbeat was like to the beat of Jingle Bells. Like that's very dangerous. Like you're gonna die.
You're gonna die. All right. So
hey,
Santa Claus moves on.
So our next bracket is, or next matchup, I should say, is finally one of mine. It is the Santa Claus is Coming to Town stop motion movie.
Classic.
The classic original story of Santa Claus against Brian. Your number one.
Hell yeah.
The Polar Express.
Damn.
The floor is yours, Kevin.
All right. So the original Santa Claus is Coming to Town. This is one of the first kind of stop motion-y movies, and it gives you that backstory of Santa Claus, because a lot of the times Santa Claus is just this figure, this older, white hair, bearded,
Gentleman.
fat guy, and he just starts like that. Rarely do you see the
His origin story. His origin story is very cool.
And it gives you the story of one Kris Kringle and how he started out giving gifts to toys because the Burgermeister Meisterburger took the toys away in this town.
My father-in-law.
Yeah.
Burger.
And it is a great origin story. It's also got some good music. Put one foot in front of the other. Do-do-do-do-do.
And
It's
Fred
great.
Astaire is actually the mailman guy.
Yep.
Who's Fred Astaire?
What?
Why do I not know who that is?
Because you don't know pop culture very well.
Yeah,
I guess
super
not.
famous.
He's very
guy.
famous old, like he was with he was like an actor dancer in the old movies.
Yeah, I mean, you remember how Mom named her two goldfish, Fred and Ginger? That's one of them. That's Fred.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
We'll look him up later.
But and I love how he narrates it, going by like giving the letters, right? And that's where it started, right? And it's just a great origin story. It's a nice story, and it also is that kind of nostalgic stop motion-y type
Mhm.
Movie.
The best part is the little penguin guy who, for some reason,
Penguin.
sounds like a goose.
Yeah,
He's like, I'm gonna call you Topper. He's like, ha, ha.
that was actually really good.
Thank you.
But also, I don't remember.
Why do you sound like that?
You also don't remember, like in like the mythos of Santa, him having a pet penguin or friend penguin like that. That's only in that movie only.
Well,
And also,
obviously, the
geographically
penguin passed
speaking, it doesn't make
away.
any sense.
Why?
geographic-
Passed away.
Because there
penguin,
are
obviously.
no penguins are only native to the South Pole.
Okay, well, there's also no winter warlocks, so why don't we?
You don't know. You don't
That makes the
know.
reindeer fly. So there's no logic that has no meaning here.
The magic corn or whatever.
Oh yeah, like little pineapple chunks or whatever he had. He's like, I got this little bit of magic sauce.
Pineapple chunks.
That's what it looks like.
I don't think that's what it was, though. I'm pretty sure.
Let's Let's feed these Arctic animals a tropical fruit.
They probably love it.
My
sure
last
they would.
trip to Hawaii.
Yeah, winter warlock in a bathing suit with a drink and an umbrella in it.
Yeah.
I want to see it.
Kris Kringle. Is that all you need to say about?
Yeah, I
Santa
think
Claus?
so. The movie speaks for itself.
Yeah. Okay. Well. Okay. I'm gonna briefly sum up the Polar Express in 2 words as to why this is the number one.
I know your 2 words.
And those 2 words are Tommy Hanks. Tom Hanks is not only one of the best actors of all time, but
Determined by us.
Yeah. He is pretty much every single character in this movie. They did the motion capture with the ping pong
Nutty
suit.
Professor for Tom Hanks.
Exactly. So he is like every character. He's Santa Claus. He is the conductor. He is the kid's dad. He's actually
And the kid.
too.
Which is weird as hell.
And the angel guy too.
I honestly have not seen this movie full. I've seen clips of it here and there, but I've never seen it all the way through.
It's so
Because
good.
the-
It's
because-
trippy as hell, but it's so good.
That's what I never seen it like on purpose. Didn't watch it because the motion capture stuff is too, like in the uncanny valley where like it looks realistic, but I know it's not, and like kind of like, and also I don't know why they made Tom Hanks be the kid because he like makes faces. The kid makes faces that are not a child's like face. It's very because you can tell it's like a full adult man playing a child. Like his face doesn't move the same as a kid's face would move in some way. I don't know. It's very.
It came out in 2004. I mean, I don't know.
It's early in the motion capture.
It's motion capture probably was like brand new, and it like for like to be like, whoa, this looks really good in the time, sure, but now looking back, it's like, ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But I mean, classic like hot chocolate. Every time I have hot chocolate, that song pops in my head. Absolute classic.
Rings no bells for me.
No, all right. Well, this is a really good movie because it's like it's all about like the magic of Christmas in that everybody is like, oh, is Santa real? Is Santa not real? You hear that jingle bell, you don't hear that jingle bell. But then like it all plays into the fact that, oh, maybe he's dreaming because every male figure in that movie is
Tom Hanks,
and
which is his dad.
Exactly. His father is also Tom Hanks. So, the conductor, Tom Hanks. Santa Claus, especially Tom Hanks. The angel dude, Tom Hanks. So every like authority figure or whatever of a male figure is his dad. So that's kind of is he dreaming? Is this real? I don't know what's happening.
Doesn't the train like pull up to his house?
Yes, that's
that also doesn't happen.
It's a magic train.
Does he live? Sorry.
It's a magic train.
So the train can pull up in front of his house where there are no tracks, but then at one point they go skidding across ice because they're not attached to the track, which doesn't make any sense.
No, because the ice froze over the tracks, Kev.
Right, but there was no tracks in front of his house. So
no, there were.
He lived next to a train tracks.
Magic.
Yeah, but if there's magic, thaw the ice. I don't understand.
They don't have that.
They didn't have enough time.
Pour some hot chocolate on it and sing the song.
Never ever let it cool. It'll melt the ice, no problem. Great. And then I don't my ticket. What does it tell me when they punch the holes in it? It tells me what I need to learn about myself. What a great movie. And also for some reason, at the end of the movie when like Santa he left, it's a success. All the elves are celebrating. There's a band of elves that are playing music, and it's Aerosmith. And one of the elves is Steven Tyler's face. Like they did a motion capture of Steven Tyler's face. Like it's just an elf that looks exactly like Steven Tyler. He's like rocking on top of the world, and it's like his voice. So in that universe, Aerosmith is a band of elves. So that's Polar Express for you.
Beautiful.
Your vote stays the same, Kev?
Yeah.
Brian?
Yeah, number one.
I gotta go with Santa Claus Coming to Town because it's so much more like you've seen the origin story of Santa is fun, and the the stop motion is great. And I've also not seen Polar Express all the way through, and the faces freak me out. No offense to Tommy Hanks, he's great, but he didn't need to be everybody in that story. Freak me out.
Will, I'll tell you what, you should watch it because you know who wrote the screenplay for this?
Steven Spielberg.
No, Robert Zemeckis.
Oh, snap.
So
I also don't know who that is.
He's the director of Back to the Future.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I forgot to say, do you know who directed the original the Jim Carrey Grinch?
Steven Spielberg.
It was Ron Howard.
It was Ron Howard.
Mm-hmm.
I know who that guy is.
I said that last night. It popped out. I said a Ron Howard film. I was like, get the hell out of here. Ron Howard directed this. Good movies.
Good stuff. So
I guess it can move on.
Year of Santa Claus moves on. I mean, no, not sorry. The Santa Claus is Coming to Town moves on.
Yeah.
Next up, my number one and Untaken was somehow by you guys. And who is this?
It's my number 3.
Number 3. One of you right. 1 versus 3 makes sense. It is the classic, probably most recent movie classic. Elf, starring Will Ferrell, versus Kev's number 3. How the Grinch Stole Christmas, OG,
the original
animated, or 2D animated, at least we can say that version. What can I say about Elf that everyone hasn't said already? It is very funny. Will Ferrell, obviously, is a very funny man. And there's so many quotes in that movie that people still say. Like anytime someone says Santa, everyone's like, Santa!
But the Elf, what's your favorite color?
Oh my God! Yeah.
Francisco. There's so many things in that movie that just like it's obviously silly and Christmassy, but it's all like it's Christmassy as hell.
2003. That's crazy.
Yeah, so it's been out for a while, but that's why I think now it's like it's been out long enough that like it hit like classic status where you put on any Christmas channel, it's going to be played at least once this season for sure.
Rest in peace, Ed Asner.
Yeah, the guy who played
Santa.
Yeah, he died. And you see your gum on the street, it's not free candy.
And you see Peep Show that you're not looking at Christmas presents before Christmas.
And Artie Lang is the Santa Claus from the
Yeah.
You want to be dead?
Just like Gigi on Saturday, it's like Santa. Yeah. What the hell? Yeah, if you're the real Santa, what song did I send you on your birthday last year? Happy birthday, of course.
Happy birthday, of course.
Oh, damn it. And then just his daddy just like I have a whole list for us to do today. First, we make a thing of gumdrop, gingerbread house, blah blah, and then we cuddle.
We snuggle.
We
snuggle.
No, we snuggle. He's like,
an entire package of Toll House cookie dough as fast as we can.
Did you sleep okay last night? Yeah, I got a full 45 minutes. And I had time to build that rocking horse. Where'd you get the wood?
The entertainment says it's just broken down. And then the what's it called? I lost my thought, but every time it's just a very funny classic movie. Oh, the big burp with the Coke because he loves syrup.
You hear that?
You hear that? It's like
when he's drunk in the mailroom, syrup, but it's actually like whiskey.
Ooh, syrup and coffee.
Syrup and coffee.
Best friend. You're my best friend.
And that guy in there says he's like 20-something
26.
years old.
Yeah. I'm 20. You're so young.
That guy's obviously in his 50s. It's insane.
Yeah, but that's
he looks horrendous.
I thought
leave him alone.
I thought he was like in his 30s or whatever.
No, watch the movie again. He's old looking.
Well, maybe he's just old looking.
He's a very weathered man.
No, he said he was 26.
He's like, I'm 26. Like, you're young. You're so young.
Oh, okay.
It's like I gotta get out of the groove.
Miles Finch, Peter Dinklage, isn't that movie?
Yeah. Call me elf one more time.
Must be a South Pole elf.
Which implies that there is a
rival
sort
gang.
Of bizarro world. Yeah, Bizarro Jerry.
Bizarro
world of Santa Claus in the South Pole then.
Maybe
that's where Krampus lives.
Krampus.
Krampus,
whatever.
Krampus.
Maybe.
Yeah. But also, like, I love in the when you're in the North Pole, they have like the stop motion animals.
Bye, buddy.
Hope
you find your dad.
And like it's like very like playing into those older stop motion movies. Very fun.
Not now, Arctic Puppet.
Not now, Arctic Puppets.
And I guess this is a tall order. Your number one going against my number three, but I said my piece about the Jim Carrey Grinch as compared to the original animated Grinch. Yeah, it's more of like a TV show considering it's so short. Yeah. But I just think there's so many classic.
Mean one.
Is that song in the Jim Carrey one?
Yeah, but Jim Carrey has his own rendition of it, and he's actually a pretty good singer. You would think.
Yeah, but compared to that OG one, that guy's voice is nuts.
Yeah, that guy's voice is awesome, and I mean, like the fact that Dad used to call us Stink, Stank, and Stunk. I feel like it's just, the other day, yeah. It's just really funny. Compare like
Stank, Stunk,
and we also quote it every time we say boxes or bags. Boxes and bags. Like it's like the voice of the Grinch is just so quintessentially Grinch. It's creepy, but also like just it's so deep and cool. Yeah, I feel like, and just the animation style really fits Dr. Seuss. Like they kept that kind of drawing type and didn't really change it at all, which is nice. So I just like the original story of the Grinch. I know it's probably not going to be Elf, but
the roast beast.
Yeah, and they
took the last can of Who Hash. Wait, what is that anyway?
It doesn't matter. Like they kept everything
marijuana.
Smoking the Who Hash, man.
Hell yeah.
Say Holly Jolly, baby.
That's
why
1966.
So
that's why I put it on my list, because it is just a classic story and they keep it to what Seuss wrote it as. They didn't change it at all. Animation style, everything. And the song is still played like on the radio today as just a song, even though they have just what's happening in the movie or the show, I guess we want to call it a show, in the song, like when they're sliding down the mountain, but that's just part of the song, so they just play it on the radio, even though like in my head, yeah, and they like his whole talking points of it, like when it's kind of like, to me it sounds like Thriller almost, when they have like that's like talking portion of the song, and it's like that same thing in the Grinch too, and it's that deep creepy voice.
It's only 26 minutes long.
Yeah,
it's
not long.
It's barely.
It's pretty much him on the mountain, him coming up with the plan, him going and doing the plan, him coming up and being like, haha, wait for them to be sad, and then they're still happy because they're family and they love each other, and who cares about presents or the decorations. And he's like, oh my god, and then his heart grows, and then he flies back down the mountain, and then he gives him back the presents, and then he's like, I'm sorry, I love you, bye.
Yeah, exactly. And I love the animation of the dog too. The dog is my favorite part in that movie. Like, is like, he like ties with the smallest string, the horn on his head.
An antler.
It's great. But I am aware it's probably not going to go any further. I'm going to stick with the Grinch just because I enjoy it. It is my pick, and it's a classic movie.
No, I do love the Grinch. I do like this one over any other Grinch versions, but the classicness and the quotability and the everything of Elf, Will Ferrell as well. I got to stick with my pick, the Elf.
Yeah, agreed. I'm gonna go with Elf, but yeah, Elf is.
I said the
Grinch
Elf.
Is definitely Grinch is definitely a classic, but yeah, I'm gonna go with Elf on this one.
All right, Elf moves on. We'll take a quick break and we'll go back to the top of the bracket and finish this holly jolly time out. Be right back. Brothers Thrice. Welcome back to Christmas time. That sounded evil. Christmas.
That's the South Pole Santa.
Yeah. This is Bizarro Santa. So he goes, instead of saying ho ho ho, he goes oh oh oh.
Everything's backwards.
Everything is back. He was saying, that's him saying Merry Christmas, everyone.
Oh my
God. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, you filthy animals. Oh.
Speaking of that.
Segue.
Kev's number one, and they got the bye this time. Home Alone.
The Orig.
Versus, now it's going to be versus the Grinch, Jim Carrey. Home Alone. We talked about the Grinch already, Kev, so go off and go.
I mean, I feel like I don't need
Queen.
Go off, do it, Queen.
I don't think it needs much of a introduction. Home Alone, everyone knows Home Alone. Very nice. For the listeners, Will just did the screaming face.
The Home Alone Macaulay Culkin face.
It's, I think, of Christmas movies, this is up there in classic. Like, everybody knows Home Alone, and like just the story of it.
The year of my birth.
All the traps. The Joe Pesci's in it for some. Like, I feel like it's just weird.
The Joe Pesci of it all.
Yeah, I feel like he's so weird that Joe Pesci's in it, but the banter between him and Marv. I think one of the funniest parts of the movie is when he puts the tarantula on his face, and he just screams.
You know that scream. He's not actually screaming because tarantulas would freak out with the loud noise like that.
Yeah, so
they put it on his face, and then he had a fake scream, and they obviously edited it later.
I would be afraid to have a tarantula on my face, but also have my mouth that wide open with a tarantula on my face.
But it's probably like the person, like the wrangler of the tarantula, really right out of frame. They probably put it on like his up here, and like, all right, fake scream, and take it right off. 2 seconds.
Yeah, but still, I have an open mouth with a tarantula on my face.
I'm sure
it's not a trained tarantula. They don't have trained tarantulas. That's not a thing. Okay, jump through this. Jump through this hoop.
They face the head away from the mouth, so like it's like the thing's probably pointing this way, up towards the forehead.
It's
so I think
still
I'm sure if the thing turned around going towards his mouth, the guy or lady would have grabbed it. I'm sure.
I hope so, but
this is very important.
Yeah,
the logistics of the tarantula.
I'm not going to go into detail about everyone knows everyone knows Home Alone, so we don't have to spend too much time.
I've never seen that. What happens?
I think the Rocking Around the Christmas Tree song that he plays when like he fakes that there's a party going on. to me, whenever I hear that song, I think of Home Alone. Like I know that song probably came out before
I think
Home
of
Alone.
a Michael Jordan cut out.
Yeah, Michael Jordan cut out on the trains, and then him just like dancing.
He made all that so fast.
Well, I mean,
and
if you
so
really,
much
if you really want
an engineer.
If you want to think about this movie in like, if you want to psychoanalyze this movie, he's a psychopath.
He's a murderer. They would both have been dead.
No, like also he could have just called the cops and then been fine. But no, he wanted to torture these two individuals for breaking into his house. He could have just called the cops. Cops could have been there, arrested them, and moved on. But no, he had to then call, like, he had to set up traps.
He's a psychopath,
sadistically torture these two men. It's like, if you really want to think about it, he's messed up.
Well, because also there's this whole video I saw that was saying how like Kevin is like a sociopath or a psychopath, where he thinks that he actually disappeared his family and then he's happy about it, and then like everyone like that, then like this, he lives in his own, where he's the center of the universe and everything else revolves around him, and then these bands coming in are like messing with his perfect like utopia kind of thing, and he sets out to do all this stuff. Because I think I also saw a different video on YouTube one time going into like the traps, and the paint can hitting their head would have, well, that's just one of the things, would have concussed them easily. The iron hitting Marv's head would have concussed him. He would have had yeah, like that, like he would have had like so many blows. And then in the second movie with the bricks, oh my god, his brains are good.
Marv gets electrocuted to a point where he turns into a skeleton. Wow, what a hole!
What a hole! Actually, no, is that the second one? That's the second one.
That's the second.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, I'm like, I don't think because he's covered in paint.
Yeah, that's the second one.
But in the first one, he also gets a nail through his foot.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Joe Pesci's hand.
I cringe.
Joe Pesci's hand. Joe Pesci's hand gets burned.
And his head gets set on fire.
Yeah, no, that's the second one.
No, the first one.
No, the first one is
the first one. His hair. He has the blowtorch at the back door of the house.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Well, no, the second one is when he puts his head in the toilet.
They fill with gasoline.
Yeah.
Well, that is one movie like where the second one is still good, even though it's a sequel. Like usually sequels aren't good, but that's a solid sequel.
Well, it's like they do the same exact thing that they did in the first one, but they do it differently that it's still good. Because
technically they didn't forget him. Kevin ran off and went to the wrong gate, and then went to New York.
Right. Well, no, but I mean, like he sets traps. It's the same.
The ending is the same pretty much. But I like how he like pretends to be the dad, and like then has the room at the hotel. All that stuff is fun. And our ex-president is in it.
I love how he like
for 2 minutes.
Ex-president, he's still the president, and
JFK
Jr. is still gonna,
obviously. Well, I love when he comes. Like, we're going to the second one, but he comes up and he has the balloon in the shower, and he's recorded his uncle. Hey, get out of here!
And then he put the classic where he puts the movie on. Perfectly choreographed movie, pause and rewind, and who knows what to answer questions and keep the change, you filthy animal.
That's classic. Merry Christmas. It's a Happy New Year. It's a great. So honestly, I feel like
snakes. Oh, Buzz's girlfriend, Wolf.
Which is actually the director's son.
That's a boy. Well, I think it's someone's on the crew's son. They just put in a wig because they don't want to be rude to a little girl calling her Wolf, even though it's like. It's me with a wig on and braces.
So I'm not going to go more into Home Alone because we all know that movie and it's fantastic. So my vote stays the same at Home Alone.
So then that's going against the Grinch, Jim Carrey. Is there competition? I'm not sure.
I'm going to go with Home Alone as well.
Oh, it's a clean sweep of Home Alone, I'm sure, because
you can't
beat that. Well, you might be able to beat. We'll see. But that moves on. Going down to the next set of brackets here, it is Elf versus Santa Claus is Coming to Town.
Ooh.
What do we think?
I'm as far as just on the basis of pure entertainment, I'm gonna go with Elf because yes, it's real. Like Santa Claus is Coming to Town is a really good the backstory and it's a really nice story and everything like that. But I mean, it gets a little dry and boring. I think it's because
it's just that time of the movies. Like everything was a little slower paced. It's just how movies were made then. Which I don't always try to hold it against the movie, but it's also like if I have a choice between these two movies, which is what we're pretty much doing right now, I'm gonna pick Elf as well, just for pure just silliness, fun, Will Ferrell, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Even though the OG it's another classic. The stop motion is so fun and nostalgic and blah blah blah. But Elf is just so much more fun.
Yeah, and I was talking about this with Crystal, how none of us picked the original stop motion Rudolph.
It was on my list, but I didn't have like.
And when you really think about, well, also when you think about the moral of the story of Rudolph, it's really terrible. We hate this guy because he's different, but now he's useful to us, so now we like him. It's basically the story of
racism
Rudolph.
as most.
It's all about racism and exploitation.
It's horrible.
They're useful to us. Exactly.
You're different, so we don't like you. But now you're useful to us, so I guess we'll like you. It's
well, not even like you. Just you like in the back of their heads, they don't still like Rudolph. So it's like, oh, you are helping us out, so we'll tolerate you. We'll tolerate you for now, but we still in the back of our heads don't actually like you.
Yeah, it's horrible. Horrible story.
Or well, that's not on the list, so we don't talk about.
No.
It. All right, so Elf moves on. So now going back to the topic is now Home Alone versus the Santa Claus.
Ooh.
This is a toughie. I have a pretty solid argument for one of them.
Let's hear it.
Let's hear it.
Okay. I love Home Alone. I do. But I think for a Christmas movie, I'd say the Santa Claus they're both Christmas movies, don't get me wrong. But I think Santa Claus is more of a Christmas movie than Home Alone. Home Alone really is only a Christmas movie because it happens during Christmas. The plot of it is not really a Christmas theme. Santa Claus is the guy turns to Santa. They're in the North Pole. He's delivering gifts. Very Christmas, opposed to Home Alone, which is a great story, just happens during Christmas. I think there's a big distinction there.
That's
so
true.
my vote would be for Christmas, Santa Claus, just because of the Christmassy of it.
I agree with you.
Agree.
Wow, that was easy.
I feel like we will be remiss to not bring up the fact that Die Hard is a Christmas movie. We didn't talk about that at all. For the same reason that Home Alone is a Christmas movie.
I'm fine with that.
The same reason that Jingle All the Way is a Christmas movie. Die Hard takes place during Christmas at a Christmas party. Therefore, it is a
Nakatomi Plaza.
Movie. Yes. Therefore, it is a Christmas movie. So I feel like I couldn't let a Christmas movie podcast go by without mentioning the fact that
giving our take on it.
That Die Hard is, in essence, a Christmas movie.
But Harry Potter is not a freaking Halloween movie. Moving on.
But it takes place during Halloween at some points in the movie.
It also takes place during
Christmas,
the whole
movie. But not the whole movie. It's not a movie it's like in a scene. It's Halloween, and then it moves on to the rest of the dang story. Anyway, we had an Instagram poll, and the majority said nay to Harry Potter being a Halloween movie. But let's not talk about that.
It was rigged. It was rigged. They mailed in the votes.
Right, rigged. The voting machines were fraud.
So Home Alone, versus the Santa Claus. This is one of the tougher picks that we've had in this bracket thing that we've done. But I honestly think the Santa Claus is more of a Christmas movie. It's not. I don't know if it's a point. Well, I don't know if it's a better movie because it is a lot. I feel like it's very fun to watch Home Alone.
Well, Home Alone, I think you can watch Home Alone really year round because it's kind of it takes place at Christmas. It's not like holly jolly Christmas spirity. It's more just a fun romp. Yeah. But the Santa Claus, I would not watch Santa Claus during the summer. That's just because it's too much Christmassy. But I think for this bracket, it needs to be Christmas. Brian, you're also voting the same way as us?
Yep.
Okay. Wow. This is honestly where I thought it would end up. I went through the bracket myself in my head before we started, and this is the final I thought it was going to be. So we have the Santa Claus, Tim Allen, versus the Elf, not the Elf, just Elf. Will Ferrell for the championship. These are both solid picks. And I don't know. What do you go? Well, you guys start. You guys start off. Well, Santa Claus is you, Bri, right?
Yes.
All right, Ken can't win, so I'm happy already.
Damn it!
Yeah. Suck it, Kev.
So I'm not sad about who wins this one because it's not Kev.
Yeah, everybody's out to get me because I win too much.
You like Tom Brady of Brothers Thrice. No one likes you.
That's right. I'm the GOAT of Brothers Thrice.
All right, well, don't get crazy now. You're not the GOAT. You're the
I am
leader
the GOAT.
Right now.
I am the greatest of all time.
For sure.
I'm gonna go with Santa Claus because
you voted for yours.
Well, yes, because it is mine. But comparing it to Elf, for example, I think that it's more of the, like I said before, when I picture Santa, I see Tim Allen's face. Like it's more of a quintessential Christmas vibe. Obviously, Elf is like that too, but it's in Manhattan, and there's a lot of other fun stuff that's happening that's outside of the Christmas realm. I think like the Santa Claus is more of like it's setting up and leading up to Christmas and all the magic and stuff that goes along with it. So to me, as far as Christmas movies go, Santa Claus takes the cake because
Right.
Tim Allen is Santa.
Okay. I know it's my pick, but I think I'm going to stick with Elf because, I don't know, this the innocence of Buddy the Elf is very like just lovely. Like he's like, like no matter like he hasn't been corrupted, but like he grew up in the North Pole, no corruption of like people. Like he was only happy, only jolly, only wanted to do things for other people, and then coming into the harsher world of reality, I guess. It's just very, and it's also just hilarious. And like I said before, the Santa Claus is like a parasite symbiote that takes over Tim Allen's body against his will. If he like had an interview for it or something, and he's like, I really want this, I want to be Santa Claus, it'd be a different story. But I think he literally got taken over.
The card said the
in the tiniest of fonts, in tiny.
Well, he said put on the coat. He could have just called the police and not put on the coat.
But he also was sitting in the cold in his boxer shorts. He needed to put some clothes on, or
that was his choice, though.
He could have went inside. His house was right there.
Okay, that's true. But I still think that he didn't actually think that he'd be like putting a jacket and stuff on. He didn't think he'd actually become Santa Claus against his will. Obviously, it's a very great movie. Tim Allen that's a great all around movie. But I think compared to Elf is just more silly and fun, and it's not as much world building as Santa Claus does. Like Santa Claus has to go through and be like, this is the workshop, this is everything. Not that it's bad. I just like Elf more of a good time.
You doing okay?
But it's close. It's close. It's close.
A glass of water.
All right, let's give up to you.
This is tough. Like this is definitely one of the tougher things. The choice to make because I do enjoy both of them. And I was in my head thinking about my usual sing something or quote something and then go with the opposite way, but I can't think of anything right now. So I think I'm just going to make my pick. And I can't oversaturate that. That's my thing, and I can't oversaturate it. I think
it's your brother's Thrice catchphrase.
It is, but it's a different catchphrase every time. I think I have to choose, as much as I Will hates me winning, I hate Will winning, but I have to choose Elf because I think it's like the comedic aspect of it is something that the Santa Claus doesn't really have. There's a couple funny things.
A couple laughs in it for sure.
Yeah, but not as much as Elf. It's not as...
Me and Em laugh. She literally films it every time we watch it to send to somebody. We laugh every time. It's just so funny.
I do like the sarcasm of Tim Allen in the movie, but it doesn't have as many quotable lines as Elf. So I'm going to go with Elf.
Wow.
Fair.
All right,
fair.
Elf taking the cake. Honestly, it was kind of like either way it went with that one. I would have been good with that winner because that seems like a solid champion all around. So,
and then Elf. I walked through the Lincoln Tunnel.
The swirly twirly gumdrops, and then the Lincoln Tunnel.
The Lincoln Tunnel. Someone needs a hug.
Which means he went through the Lincoln Tunnel. That means he went from the North Pole into Canada, into the U.S., into New Jersey, then took the Lincoln Tunnel from Jersey to Manhattan.
Yeah.
So the Lincoln Tunnel sounds better than going. It's like then I crossed the George Washington Bridge,
the Midtown Tunnel.
I want to Google Maps it. Like, how long would it take for you to walk?
Well, the North Pole doesn't exist. So.
Yeah, you can't put North Pole as a pin.
Well,
what do you mean the North Pole doesn't exist?
There's no land there. Well, for our human eyes, we can't see.
Then where does Santa?
There is. What are you talking about? There's land.
He's in a magical. Is there? I thought the North Pole has no it's like in the Arctic. If the actual North Pole has no land.
Sweetheart. You ever hear of Greenland?
Is Greenland exactly where the North Pole is? Like at the exact top?
No.
Part of it is
like the northernmost.
Like I'm saying, if where would the pole actually be? Is there land there? Probably not. I'm saying I think there's this water.
Ice.
Well, I mean, like
ice.
if you're looking at a map right now, yeah, he would have to. Well, he did cross the sea ice, so maybe he did come from Greenland and then he took a water over to like.
Well, yeah,
Quebec or
when he
something
left,
like
he was on that little thing of ice.
He was on
Yeah.
that little ice thing.
So maybe he took like the little iceberg from the coast of Greenland over to the Quebec area and then went
down through Canada. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then-
We're
and
looking
then
at
through the
we're looking
Lincoln
at
Tunnel.
Then
the
again,
route.
we're also putting realistic expectations as he said goodbye to Arctic puppets on his way down. So we
Bye,
really.
Mr. Narwhal. All right.
What's
So
What's
Elf
the
is
what's the snowman's name? Leon.
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 Leon doesn't know anything. He just rolled up one day.
He's the same guy who's in the Rudolph movie.
I think
Is that-
it's a play on that guy.
Well, no, I know. I'm saying it's supposed to be that same kind of character.
Yeah.
So Elf wins it. What's that? What makes my record now? I don't remember. I have to look back.
You're losing to me. That's your record.
Well, but not by much. I don't think now. Not by much.
Google
Brian's
says-
Brian's at the basement because he keeps picking movies like Nacho Libre.
and Polar Express.
Well,
Google
Polar
says,
Express is
sorry, we could not calculate a walking directions from Greenland to New York City.
makes sense.
Damn.
Did you put in the iceberg? Did you put in the ice? Is there an iceberg tab?
There's a train, there's a ship, and there's iceberg.
Yeah. I selected that one. I still couldn't calculate it.
Can't believe it. All right, let's end this one here, guys. Everyone have a lovely, lovely holiday. Whatever you celebrate, we love you. And
Merry holiday.
Merry holidays. Even though this was I can say Merry Christmas. This was the Christmas bracket. So
Yeah.
Merry Christmas all, and to all good night. Happy New Year's. Oh, we're gonna be. This is the last one before the end of the year, right? Let me look at my calendar real fast because we look and it looks like
yeah.
2 weeks ahead
Yeah.
past this one.
I think
Yes, we will be back in the new year, 2022.
we should have
So-
saved our snack one for a New Year's snacks. Darn it.
Oh well. New Year's,
Happy New Year.
New Year, new us. You will see us in 2022.
Oh.
Thank you for listening, y'all.
Peace.
Brothers
Peace.
Thrice.
Brothers Thrice.
Brothers